Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to the Wealthy You podcast. I am your host, Terry Black, the Wealth Sharer, and I'm here to share wealth so you can build wealth. And by sharing wealth, I'm going to help you connect to your God-given purpose within your business life so you can grow and prosper. Hey everyone, so welcome to the Wealthy You podcast. I want to be able to share with you the journey of my clients over time and kind of break down the ways that I coach that may be very different to what the normal coaching style looks like. And I really care to share this because it's very important because I bring something very different to the table. I've said before to many people that God has told me many times that my business is very unique. And, sometimes in looking at some of my Instagram videos and my YouTube videos, you guys may not be able to understand the full picture if you haven't been following me for a number of years. So, again, guys, welcome to the Wealthy You podcast. And with that, I want to be able to, again, share with you what I do on a spiritual sense when it comes to the coaching that I do for business women. And as the wealth sharer, I am, I love being able to share with others. That's what God deemed me as the wealth sharer because in my journey, I have been sharing with many people for many, many years. Even before I went into business, it's always been, I find something out and I want to share with people. And now I have the platform and a business where I help my clients, people who are not my clients, even, I help them be able to understand how life works on a spiritual sense when it comes to God and how God is at the forefront of everything that we do. And especially in our business, God gives us the visions for us to be able to follow through on. And as we are following through on the vision that God gives us, we should always make sure that everything is, honest with integrity, standing on our authority, being authentic and confident and focused on all the things that God has for us without any question or doubt. And that's the journey that I take my clients through the mindset shifts, through the removal of the mental burdens that they are experiencing. And, it has been a marvelous journey because, in understanding that I have impacted my clients and, customers and friends and family and strangers, it has been remarkable to see how people can feel at peace after working with me, how people can be able to put the puzzles together and to be able to see things clearer. I always used to say that, I help people be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And when I was saying it back, a couple of years ago, I was saying it more on the financial sense because a lot of people were working with me because they want to be able to get out of debt, of the financial debt, and telling my own story of what I've done and being able to show the results. But it's more than the financial piece. It's also the mental piece. And the mental piece is actually more important because your financial status can be really good, but that doesn't mean that you have mental peace in all of areas in your life. And it's so important for us to focus on that mental piece before we actually focus on the financial piece because your mental state, your having a sound mind, having the way that you think, the way that you perceive life will shift if you understand how to align it to how Jesus walked. I had that conversation today with someone, and it was just like, like we strive to, walk like Jesus for those of us who are trying to become more conscious. Me, I'm already at a higher conscious level, so my journey is different. But for those who are, it's a big shoes to fill, but it doesn't mean that we can't get closer to how Jesus walked on his life and how he embraced truth and, standing in your authority and understanding like God is my father and you can't tell me nothing about it, right? And when you know that God is your father and you know that God won't forsake you, then when he gives you a business plan or any plan, you can move forward with it in confidence. But what has happened over time is that people don't understand their true purpose. They've been searching for it. They may get a little glimpse of it, but it's not always 1,000% aligned in what it is that God has for them and want for them. So they tend to sway and shift, and sometimes they want to rush the process and do things the easy and fast way. And that's not really how it works, because sometimes you have to walk. And today, listening to one of Miley's old podcasts, she mentioned walking, and it reminded me of what God told me. My business is going to be a slow start because, there's things that I'm going to be doing and sharing with people, and I'm going to be sharing things as I grow. And if I grow too big, how can I help you guys? How can I be able to really dive into, what it is that I'm experiencing and teaching you along the way? So, if you are someone who desires, um, to be guided in business and find a business coach, and I'm kind of told to stop. So let me kind of backtrack before I go into the questions. Uh, as you listen to me on my different platforms, you will notice that I'm always pivoting in a conversation. I can hear God very clearly, as well as my angels. And with that, I know what to say, when not to say, when to say, when not to say, who to speak to, who not to speak to. That is the walk that I walk. And, I can hear clearly. I have clear vision, I have clear sight, I have clear hearing, clear feeling. So clairvoyant is, something that people will resonate with on more the spiritual side, but I just tell people that I can hear clearly. So I can hear God in an audible way. I can hear him in ways that other people can't, that most people desire to get to. And with the spiritual gift that God gives me, God allows me to work in my business to be able to help people connect to him in a much stronger, deeper way, more than they ever imagine. And when I say more than you ever imagine, it's more of most people, they say that they want to connect with God, but they don't understand how God works, and they don't understand how God speaks to them. So with my clients, I take them through, a journey of exercises, of mindset shifts, of removing thought processes and also practices that are not aligned to God's will, for them to be able to get quieter still in their life, remove distractions, and I'll get to that a little later, but for them to do a lot of the peeling of the onion, so to speak, of those layers that are not good for you, and strip people of the mental burden so they could connect to God in a deeper way. So, I that is my gift. That is my spiritual gift. And it's something that I don't take lightly. It's something that I love doing. Again, as the wealth sharer, it is for me, my desire to help people connect. I remember back in 2016 when I started my inspirational mug business. God was giving me all these ideas and all these ways that I can actually help people shift their mindset. And the concept with the mugs was more of putting motivational words, inspirational words on a mug. So as people are drinking their coffee and their tea, they can actually sit down and read the words. And as they drink, they're pouring into themselves. And it was just a great concept that I loved. But, I'll have to tell you guys a story of when I quit and why I quit. But with that, two things came out of that. One was that when I did walk away from the business, God allowed me to continue my journey with mindset, to be able to pour in. God was pouring into me for me to learn what it is to really understand how powerful words are, for me to understand affirmations, understand journaling more, understanding how to truly connect with Him in ways that people talk about but don't necessarily actually execute. But I help my clients do that. But with that, it is one of those things that came out of Teaspirations, which was the mug business. But another thing that came out of it is where I'm at today, the Wealth Sharer. That journey of the mugs, has helped shape who I am today. The journey of seeing the messages. God told me that those messages was actually for me. I had like 5 key mugs that I sold, and they were like top sellers. Having faith over everything. It was being God made, not self made. Manifesting Greatness, Millionaire Goals, and oh, the other one escapes me. I want to say I'm seeing a perfect life. Um, and I remember with Perfect Life, it just, you know, feeling like people are like, well, there's no such thing as a perfect life. You can get close to perfect because that is what walking in God's light means, is that you are walking in, get into the perfect way, the perfect journey. Get into, maybe I didn't say that right. Nope. So I'm also receiving in this moment. So living the perfect life is knowing that, not looking back and being upset about the way things didn't work out, but you can look at it as like you're doing your best to follow through on obedience, and being obedient helps you to get close to perfection. So it may not look like perfection in the moment, but when you look back and realize that everything's purposeful, that God is a purposeful God, and that the journey is already written, your course is already set. When you stay on course, you'll reach salvation, and that is perfection. So that is a perfect life. When you look back, you want to say, did I live my life in a great way? Was I able to follow through on all the things that God has for me, not just in my business, but also in life? So that is definitely one of the things that, well, a few of the things that I have learned in my journey. But let's get into it, guys. So, everyone, I want to be able to kind of share some of the journeys that people tend to look for when it comes to finding someone to help them on their spiritual journey. And with me, the spiritual journey is with your business. I am a business life coach. My title of what I do has changed and shifted over the years, as God was taking me through different phases of my business and of my life. So I have been known as a mindset coach. I've been known as a money coach. I've been known as a transformational coach. My clients have called me life coach. They've called me, sensei, and, um, their financial consultant, because I help people with the finances as well. But so with that, do you desire someone to guide you as a business coach? And there's a lot of people out there. So I'm not going to say anything to knock anyone because that's not my place. I just want to be able to share with you guys what it is that I bring to the table in terms of how God guides me. So first and foremost, everything that I do, even in my personal life, how I live, the core values that I live by is a reflection of what is in my business. So when it comes to my clients, I'm always ensuring that what they think they want to do is really what God wants to do. Because the strategy, the strategy is a way that is connected to your purpose, your path. So with that, when you are looking for a strategy in how to facilitate your business, it should always match God's plan. It should always be part of the plan that God has for you. With that, there's a difference between your plan and God's plan. And I mentioned it before, so many people look for ways to fast track their success because sometimes people grow impatient, or they want to see the money now and not later. They feel like they're missing out. And sometimes that will cause you to make bad decisions, and decisions that's not aligned to what God has for you. So with that, when you understand that there's, your own thoughts and what you want and how you want it, it will not always match what God wants for you. As I was saying that, I remember someone today saying to me, you will make a plan and God will laugh. And, I'm not going to say God's laughing because, I haven't heard God laugh at my plans, but, with that, it's one of those things where God has a better plan than us. And sometimes our plan is so small and God is so big and significant that, when God gives us these grand, beautiful ideas to help us reach the success that He has already planned out for us, we sometimes say, God, that might be too much. I can't do it. or people don't want to do the work. They don't want to work hard. So many people are, I shouldn't say so many people, there are few people out there pushing quick and easy, quick and easy. And while there may be steps that you can skip because you're investing in yourself and paying someone to be able to help you with the shortcuts, there may be things for you to actually go through, especially if you want to run a business and turn it into a true corporation, and that corporation be more than just you and your assistant or you and a small team. If you want to be able to build your brand into a multi-million dollar brand, or like Tyler Perry said today, I was listening today, it wasn't today, but Tyler Perry said in the Heart to Hearts um, program that I watch on Peacock after like listening to watching The Best Man with my husband, I was like, that was brilliant, right? So with that, you have to follow God's plan. That is one of the things I pay attention to as I, been on my journey, my business journey since 2015 was when I first started my first business. And I remember always being drawn to become an entrepreneur, being drawn to become a business owner. And, thinking about it more on the solo journey, right? But now, I love people, I love teams, I love building, I love giving back, I love being able to help, create a space where people can increase their income because they're working with me and they're getting paid well. With that, I want to say that it is, my desire to learn from other people who have been successful, like the Oprahs, like the Tyler Perrys, Miley is, I bring her up because I started re-listening to her podcast back from 2012 when, back in the day when I started listening to her. But with that, it is just more of just really understanding that, we are here to serve a purpose. And it's not our purpose, it's God's purpose. It's not our journey, it's the journey that God has for us. And so many people are trying to do things the quick way that they miss out on the lessons, they miss out on understanding how to overcome the challenges and the obstacles, they miss out on identifying the gratitude and the wins. They are so quick to get to the buck. And there are a lot of broke millionaires out there, and not just broke in terms of like being in debt, but broke in terms of that mindset. And I rather take the long road in terms of, and I say long road, like I rather not rush the journey. So God, I take that back. I don't want to take the long road. I'm taking the easiest path because I'm following God's way. But I rather take my time and learn who I am as a woman, as a West Indian, because those roots, that the culture, there's things that must be removed in the thought process. Who I am as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, as a daughter, in becoming present and balancing business owner, and I running multiple businesses, but finding that balance and taking my time to where I'm not rushing to get to the money because I know the money will come. But when it comes, I want to be able to handle it. So I want to be able to not get lost in it. I want to be able to not feel like I'm better than other people because I'm a billionaire. I want to be able to really, truly still live in an authentic way. And I know that I will because that has been my prayer to God, is to ensure that I am truly following his path. And no matter how much riches I have, whether that's riches in friends and in, material things, that's not, I don't get lost in it. It's not the end all be all, because there is the story of, when Jesus asked, I don't know the name, so don't quote me on it, but asked a guy it was in the Bible, it's in the Bible, about, I think he came to him and said, I want to follow you, be a disciple, and God told him to go back and get rid of his riches. And the guy said, no, I don't ever want to be like that. There's a gospel song out there that is silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. So I remember singing that some months ago. Money's not everything. But money does give you an experience. It does allow you to travel the world. So I don't want to dismiss money. Money's a tool. Money is energetic. My daughter said that the other day. She was like, money come back. Yes, it will come back. It is energetic. When you are open and understand that money's a tool and it's meant to allow you experiences, it's meant to, allow you be able to live a good life and to not have to struggle, then you can just be. I'm not fixated on money because I know that I'm good financially, but I know that I'll be even better in the future. So I'm not, checking my account and, excited if, five figures hit my account, like every time five figures hit my account, I'm not like, oh my gosh, like it's like normal, right? So I want people to get to the space of normalcy in understanding that money is energetic. And the more you let go of the idea of being broke, the more that you understand that being broke is a mindset. And it's not just broken money, but broken spirit. You will understand that there's so much more to life. So, again, like I said, I bring something very different to the table, which when it comes to being able to lead my clients to become more spiritual in their walk, to become more business oriented, that's tied to the core values of God, being able to understand, when an opportunity didn't happen, what was the lesson in it? What does it mean? What do you take away from it? And not to be upset, not to be frustrated, not to allow life to get the best of you to where you're so in the world that you only care about certain things. So, and then you also become more kinder and gentler in your journey. You become more considerate of other people. You speak more, you give more, and that is the journey that we should be striving to live in. So, another question that comes up is, do you desire to get out of mental and financial debt? And I always ask this question, but when I ask this question, I always put mental before the financial because even when I started in my journey as the wealth sharer, I, always was money and mindset. I didn't push the money on the agenda. Yes, I can tell you how to manage a budget with ease. Yes, I can create money plans for you to get out of debt with ease. Yes, I'm able to help you understand how to look at different categories within your spend categories and your expenses and look at your income and be able to really dive down to the very category that people don't pay attention to, that they, not eat into your bottom line. That's the best thing to say. And your bottom line is, your the money that you want to have, your discretionary money. So, yes, I can help you do all that easily. I've done it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for my clients. I can create money plans with my eyes closed. I've been working with budgets for corporations for 20 years. So, with that 20 years, close to 20 years, because I'm like, I'm not that old to say 20 years yet, but I've been working with corporate budgets and managing people's money for some time now. So, when it comes to anything numbers related, I'm your girl, okay? But with that, I want to be able to kind of talk to you about my story. So, I myself have paid off over $100,000 worth of debt in 14 months. And, I used to talk about that more than not. Now I talk about God more than not because God is my love language. God, I'm heavy on God. And I've been heavy on God for forever. This ain't nothing new. This is me. I've been heavy on God for a long time. But when I might be skipping, I'm gonna say real quick, when God told me to not be embarrassed about talking about Him out loud, that gave me the authority to walk in confidence and talk about God in any room, in any boardroom, in any enclave, in any office, in any setting, outside, inside, we're going to talk about God. On my phone, off my phone, we're going to talk about God. So you are going to always hear me honor God in my conversations. You're going to always hear me. And, I came across some old posts that I archived some years ago, and I came across some materials from 2019 and 2020. And even in my personal social medias, I came across things that I've said, you know, dating more than like 10 years ago. And I've been heavy on God, so I got the receipts, okay? So with that, it's just more of, you know, my story is that I've paid off over $100,000 worth of debt for myself and my family. I've spent hours and sleepless nights coming up with a formula, and that formula was able to help me be able to help my clients that's worked with me when I was primarily doing more money management than mindset management. Now I've shifted into more mindset, spiritual management. Management? I don't know if it's management. Well, I guess accountability. That's the best word. More mindset, spiritual accountability, because God manages it. I'm just a vessel. But with that, I've shifted. So, but I still help people with their money in my business. I still am able to help people manage their debt and get out of debt. I'm still able to help people, get to a place of removing the financial burden. And with my client stories, my clients have all been successful. They have been successful in paying off their debt in a very short matter of time. I just am able, God has allowed me the space and the mental capacity to be able to understand how to work the numbers more than the person who's in it themselves, because there's a bias there. Some people don't like to let go of things. Some people are good at managing money, some people are not. And even for the people who can be good at managing money, the people that have worked with me where they allowed me to create their money plans, they did not want to do it on their own. So they paid me to create money plans, and they paid me to be able to create their budgets, and they paid me to, plan to be a, I don't want to use the word financial planner because I am a financial planner in a way, but not based on what you see when you Google the word financial planner, when you think of, someone who's just helping you with a budget. No, my money plans is actually me doing the work for you. So you don't need to figure it out. I literally tell you where to put your money, whether that's your savings, the different buckets for savings. Like I said, we talk a lot about money management when I started. So I'm pretty much an expert when it comes to that. But with that, it's more of, you know, I am able to help you break down, identify the categories that you're spending money on, and in that money plan, we're doing fixed and variable expenses. And through that journey of creating the money plans for my clients, they've been able to pay off $60,000 on average in 6 months, and more money than that in a year and more. So I can say confidently that your girl is good when it comes to money. And also, I've helped corporations be able to save money on their bottom line. And I'm talking about millions, multi millions of dollars. Okay. So that is what I do in terms of the money aspect. And when it comes to money, I don't want you guys to be embarrassed. There is this stigma out there when it comes to money where people just don't like talking about it. People don't like, discussing. They're so embarrassed about money. And like I told all my clients, when they first started working with me, there's not a number you can tell me that's going to make me feel shocked. There is no number that you can tell me that you have when it comes to, whether it's your credit cards or your car loan. There's no number out there where I'm going to judge you. My business is a judgment-free zone because, like I said, everything I do is led by God, and God does not, well, God does judge. So I'm not to judge. So Terry Black is not meant to judge. The Welshire does not judge. So with that, I want people to become more open about talking about money because, talking about money helps you be able to grow. not just growing your money, but also growing your knowledge. When you are so stifled in not being able to communicate about money, you actually put money on a pedestal and you're actually putting money before a lot of things. And the more you realize that you are, you know, using a tool to be able to get to more experiences in life. Being in the house is an experience, right? Where you live, and it's you are experiencing moments every day. So money buys houses, right? Whether it's an apartment or townhouse or actual, you know, um, home, standalone home, it's an experience to go to that house and open it up and love your living room and love your space and love your kitchen and your bathroom and go to bed and experience, having good sleep. That's a whole experience, okay? So when people say, money's just a tool. Let's just say that. Money is a tool to be able to give you experiences. Eating food, but you got to buy food. Food ain't free. Even water's not free, right? Depending on where you go. So, eating food is an experience. Traveling is an experience. Being able to go out with your girlfriends is an experience, and go on dates. That's it. So life is about experiences, and I want you guys to be able to experience life just in a way where you are working towards joy. That's a journey. Joy, to get into joy is a journey. And when you recognize that it's a journey in itself, you will be more open to understanding life in a deeper way. So the next question is, are you looking to connect with God in your business? And I'll tell you guys this. So many people that I meet tell me that they are. And not just people in their business, like business owners, people outside of like having a business are like, yeah, I'm working on connecting with God. And I love when that happens because God always puts me in rooms with people who desire and seek Him. And, it's also very beautiful. Like I know that God will send the right person for me. Soulmate client, Sherry Jones from Sherry Speak Life said that soulmate client. I love when she said that. Actually, guys, make sure you check out her podcast, Sherry Speak Life. She is amazing and a Christian life coach, and I love what she brings to the table. And yeah, so moving into, people want to be able to connect to God and to be able to reach God in a deeper way and love on God and allow God to order their steps. And so many people say that, but they don't necessarily know how to do it. They don't know how to stay consistent. They don't know how to remove the distractions. And, when people have been doing the same thing day out for decades, it can be hard to break it. Back in 2017 was the year where God first told me going into the new year to remove TV. I was told, I remember this, those people are paid. I remember thinking, those people are paid anyway. Why not focus on you and the things that you need to do? And over time, going into 2019, I was able to remove more TV. I did in 2015 and 2016, but I still watch a lot of those gossip shows, and then realizing they were all negative, mostly negative. They were nothing but bickering and anger and drama, and that's the type of energy I don't need in my life. And I didn't want to watch anyone else experience it because then I'm experiencing it with them. So no, thank you. So looking for looking to connect to God in your business. If you haven't known already, I'm gonna let you know my business, my life actually is 1,000% faith based. I am heavy on God, and I say it with no apologies at all. So my business is 1,000% faith based with no shame. And I say that because there are people out there who are scared to talk about God out loud. There are people out there who don't understand that we are to speak about God, to speak about His glory, to speak about testimonies and praises out loud. And when you are afraid of speaking about God because of other people, imagine how God feels about that. But yet you pray in secret and expect God to do more for you. So I want you guys to sit on that for a little bit. And then the last question is, do you want to live a more spiritual life? And before it was connecting to God in your business, now this is just about spiritual life. And what does that mean? That means being more obedient. That means being able to truly connect with God. And becoming obedient means that when God tells you not to eat that hamburger, you don't eat it. And you know you shouldn't eat it because God told you not to eat it. Guys, my personal journey, I'm not eating burgers, but I'm eating other stuff. I'm pretty good on obedience, but food, oh boy. So what else does it mean to live a spiritual life, walk with God? Getting more quiet so you can hear Him. I do teach others how to hear God's voice. Check out my Instagram page, Guided to Listen. I am able to use my spiritual gifts to be able to help others connect with God in a deeper way. I host classes once a month to be able to help people hear God, distinguish God's voice from their own. And it is beautiful because I just started it, guys, maybe a couple months ago. I've hosted 2 classes so far, and it has been nothing but amazing. And outside of so the classes came about because God had me actually helping people outside of my business, pretty much for most of 2022, being able to help people distinguish God's voice from their voice. I actually started it with one of my best friends about 2 years ago, and that was my first experience being able to help someone connect to hear God. And I'll just say with everyone that I've helped, it's been more of, it's up to them to continue the journey. But for those who I have helped, they have been listening for the most part because they are conscious more about what it is and how God works, because I've been able to help them understand it on a way and level that no one else has shared with them. So as the wealth sharer, even in my personal life, as I learn, I share. So I want to do more of that with you guys. And then removing distractions. You must remove distractions in your life. And distractions can come in different forms. And, a lot of people, are scared to remove distractions, even if it's not a person. So I mentioned before, God guided me to remove TV from my life. I watch 5% of TV throughout the year. It must be something very engaging to where I'm actually learning stuff. I do watch YouTube. I do listen to Instagram videos depending on the nature of what's being talked about. And then, read books, trying to get back into reading books. I was an avid reader for many years where I could have put down a book because I loved reading so much. But with that, removing distractions, remove anything that doesn't serve you. And what doesn't serve you? Having clothes in your closet that you're not wearing, remove that. That's a distraction because you look at it and you're like, oh, I don't need this, or your mind is going to places that you don't need to go. And that's overall the gist. If it's anything in your life that's causing you to go down a space where you don't want to go, you may want to reconsider it. But I will say that also depends on what it is, because there may be some things in your life that is causing you to go down a rabbit hole, and it may be good for you. So when you partner with God, God will be able to steer you in the right direction, which means that when I say partner with God, that is you connecting with God on a deeper level so you can be able to hear Him, so you know who and what to take out your life. So another distraction is people who love to gossip. I do my best to stay away from gossiping, more so because I understand spiritually how God receives everything, and so do angels. We do have angels around us that protect us and guides us. And everyone who has an angel can receive certain things. So when we say, God, please block this, who do you think is blocking it? Our angels, God, of course, but our angels do God's work. And so because I have learned how to, not how to, because I have learned how information is transferred from one person to the next, in terms of spiritually, not like me to you, but my angels to your angels. Um, I am very mindful about who I talk about, what I say about them. And if it's anything negative, I do my best not to speak it, because depending on what it is, the other person's angels will know, because God does reveal it to them, depending on the conversation. So just a little tidbit, I'll add maybe small tidbits about, how God works with us in the spiritual realm, for those who are looking for information on that spiritual walk, because that's part of me and that's part of how I lead my clients, and, how I lead my friends and my family. And, that's, like I said, I'm heavy on God. So, and I'm heavy on sharing with you so you can grow and prosper. So, guys, that is what I have for you. I pray that you have received so much from this. As you listen to listen to me, listen to the words that I'm sharing, always come with a pen and paper, because I'm going to be dropping gems for you to be able to really think about. And then also, I said on stage, I was able to speak to over 100 women in a room, about, God opening doors. And I'll probably do another talk about that another time. But, always have your pen and paper ready. Whether you're listening to me or listening to someone else, God is going to be giving you downloads of information on things that He wants you to do. So always be handy. I tend to, put notes in my phone, or, sometimes in my notebook. I'm not going to lie. I have a Telfar, and it's the medium bag. And when I say that I pack it to the brim, I have no room for anything else. And now I have like my iPad and my MacBook in it. And I have my cosmetic bag and my wallet. And typically I will walk around with my journal and my notepad. I have another journal, and I don't have room. So now I just put my notes in my phone, when God tells me to do something. And the more you connect to God, the more you will see that He has a plan, because He will be telling you everything you need to do in that plan and the steps to get to where you need to get to. And I'll say this real quick before we end this. There are times where God will tell you to do something, but you need someone else to help you. Okay? We're going to let that marinate as we end this. So guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey everyone, I pray that you enjoyed this episode of the Wealthy You podcast. Again, I am your host, Terry Black. Be sure to connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and stay tuned for more podcasts. If you would like to work together or be a guest on the show, you can send me an email at terry@thewealthshare.com, or you can go on to my website, thewealthshare.com.